Okidoki.
Make no mistake. I'm a sociopath. God, that sounded evil. Let's rewind a little.
This statement is wrong. You might be thinking, oh, she's exaggerating. She's probably calling herself that to be edgy or different. I don't blame you for thinking that, but that's not the part that's wrong here. It's actually the second half. Calling herself a sociopath is nowhere near evil enough. Class of '09 is a high school visual novel. You hear that and you'll probably think, oh, dating sim, nice. No, shut up, you're wrong. This one is set in America, 2007 to 2009, get it, it's in the name. Which, I'm not sure which is worse, an American high school or a Japanese high school. You're either filled with lead or forced to rage quit. Pick your poison. The main character is 16-year-old Nicole, the person you heard at the start of the video. She is pure evil. You know that meme? I could fix her, but what the is wrong with her is honestly way hotter. Well, you can throw that out the window because you should not fall in love with Nicole. It's not about what's wrong with her, it's about what she will do to you. Okay, maybe we do need to rewind. Due to her mother collecting divorces like they're going out of style, Nicole has never been able to stay in one place for very long. Constantly moving to a new city, county, state, the concept of friendship is a little foreign to Nicole. It's pretty hard to form meaningful relationships when you're changing schools annually. At least she has a family, right? A mother who is definitely not the problem in the relationships, a brother who eats more than he earns, which is nothing, and a father who seems to have just come back from one of those Japanese high schools. Because
Boom! A gunshot! My second Christmas himself! I walked in. Floor looked like a whole video game, just blood everywhere. And get this, his note was stuck to the fridge with a Cookie Monster magnet. All he wrote on it, Nicole's fault. I'm Nicole, by the way. Hi, what the did I do to him?
I think this opening does a great job of setting up who Nicole is as a character. It gets you sympathetic towards her. You always feel bad for the new transfer student. She has such a sad look in her eyes. But I understand her, even if no one else does. But she also made her dad unalive himself. It's never really explained why he did it. Nicole does mention revenge, so it makes me assume it was because of something she did. But at the start of the game, it just kind of sits in the back of your mind, quietly reminding you that something is not quite right here. Which is a feeling that permeates through the entire game. Throughout Class of '09, we're constantly showing the mixture of an awful environment along with how Nicole reacts to it. Her family, while not great, is really just the tip of the iceberg. At the start, she kind of seems like a delinquent, constantly skipping class, bullying classmates, disrespecting every teacher she meets. It's half concerning and half understandable, especially when you see what her school is actually like. Basically, every single teacher is trying to get into Nicole's pants. Actually, almost every teacher. Mr. White here would never do anything inappropriate with his students. He's just a white nationalist. You can't really blame Nicole for not wanting to take school seriously when the only thing being taught to her is that age is just a number. It's a good thing stuff like this doesn't actually exist. Like, imagine if America was a real country. That would be crazy. The boys hitting on her aren't much better. We got a pretentious try-hard hipster who has the conversation skills of a concerningly stiff sock, a roid-raging lacrosse jock who's got all the isms, racism, sexism, and autism, and a weeb. The worst of them all.
By the way, I started a YouTube channel. You guys want to see it?
Funny how everyone wants to be a Nicole, but the fact that you're playing a visual novel makes you a Jeffrey. There are no good people in Class of '09. Everyone around Nicole is infuriating at best and a danger to her life at worst. One of Nicole's endings has her trying to be friendly with all the boys, which leads to rumors being spread that she did the deed with the entire football team, causing the whole school to gang up on her, push her past a breaking point, and end with the classic, "You gently open the door." We've seen where being nice gets her, so it makes complete sense why Nicole has so much animosity towards everyone. Right? Well, not quite. While the game does a great job of getting us to sympathize with how Nicole sees the world, what it doesn't do is defend the horrible things Nicole herself does. To be blunt with you, here's a list of Nicole's crimes so you can get a good picture of what I mean. Pretending to be friends with the anime kid so she can bully him to the point of turning him into a school shooter. Hitting on a guy that's in a relationship just so she can use his pictures to traumatize his girlfriend. Stealing and selling crack for a class project. Convincing several students to either unalive themselves or their family. Her entire relationship with Ari, which I'll get into later, and inciting a terrorist attack.
What was that 90s TV show? Did I do that?
Nicole constantly tells us that she's the victim, how it's her parents' fault or the school's fault or men's fault that she is the way that she is. And while her environment is indeed awful, like, I don't think enough people talk about the opening. Imagine if the last message you got from your dad was that it was all your fault. How much deep-rooted trauma does Nicole have? Like, she needs therapy. But even with that, Nicole lashes out at everyone that even slightly gets on her bad side. Not because they deserve it, but because she revels in the pain she can inflict on others. She definitely hates men, but she has absolutely no qualms with destroying the lives of her female classmates. She legitimately views everyone to be beneath her, using her looks and intelligence to manipulate those unfortunate enough to stumble onto a path of destruction. Like during one of the routes in Re-Up, Nicole accidentally causes her mother to have a heart attack. She becomes the cause of both her parents' death. But this is only a side story in the first half. The death of her mother has almost no effect on the story, the only consequence being locking you out of one route. This is how little Nicole cares about those around her, that the loss of her own mother is nothing but an introductory event that she forgets for the rest of the game. But there is one person she does care about, and that's Jekka. If there is one constant throughout all her routes, it's that Nicole and Jekka become good friends. They have a lot in common, similar sense of humor, they both hate the people around them, and they both pop Xanax and Percocet like there's no tomorrow. She's no saint, as you can probably tell. But even with her own caveats, Jekka is often the voice of reason. When Nicole is trying to be friendly with every guy that wants to date her, Jekka is there to tell her she needs to cut the people she doesn't want to spend time with. When Nicole talks about manipulating or hurting anyone, Jekka is usually there to point out how concerning her words are. When Nicole gets arrested for selling crack and blames it on her upbringing, Jekka calls her out, reminding her she lived in a good neighborhood and only sold crack so she could fake community service hours for a school assignment. Every time Nicole starts to become unhinged and self-destructive, Jekka is there to ground us. I would say the best example is the only route we see Nicole actually dating someone. Ari here has recently come out of the closet, and because we helped her come out, she has fallen in love with Nicole. When I first saw this choice, my thought process was, hey, Nicole seems to be very anti-men, but she has had multiple instances of alluding to maybe liking girls.
For a week, it'd be kind of fun. You want to be sexed up, abusive lesbians?
No,
Why not?
because you'd be doing all the abusing.
Oh, like what?
Just weird. You'd like put a cigarette out on my neck and lick the burn mark.
So you want to try it?
No.
Unfortunate for me, I'm not a high school girl with severe codependency issues and abysmally low self-esteem. Anyway, going out with Ari might actually be good for Nicole. Maybe this is a dating sim. I can't wait to see all the cute moments between Nicole and Ari. Seeing how Nicole treats Ari is one of the worst things I've ever had to experience. I genuinely thought Nicole might become just a little bit happier, but no, how naive I was. She enables Ari's cutting, neglects her constantly, talks about her behind her back, insults her to her face, takes advantage of her insecurities, gaslights her every chance she gets, basically controls Ari because she knows they're probably the only two lesbians in the entire school. And I have to sit through this, trapped in the reality that this is all my fault. I made this choice. I hurt poor Ari. She didn't deserve any of this, yet I used her as an experiment to see if Nicole would become a better person, knowing in the back of my mind, she was beyond any conceivable redemption. Jekka rightfully confronts Nicole on her behavior, disgusted by how she treats Ari like a pet and calls out how abusive she is. Nicole treats Ari so badly that it causes her to go back to dating men. That's how abusive this relationship was. And Nicole doesn't even care.
Abusing feels awesome. Don't knock it till you try it.
And while everyone in Class of 09 is horrible, Ari did threaten to cut herself if Nicole didn't go out with her, and even Jekka stayed silent when she could have warned Ari. But more often than not, the harm that Nicole does is always so much worse. At least with the boys, you could argue they deserve it, but the same can't be said for Ari.
No, explain to me how this is any more awful than anything I usually do.
Cause usually you do it to men. I'm like, was that overboard? And you always say,
He'll end up a anyway.
but she's a teenage girl, Nicole. She is a gay, codependent teenage girl, as if it wasn't hard enough. What's your excuse this time?
That stole my depression idea. Her.
You should have said nothing.
It's writing like this that allows this visual novel to be as absurd as possible, like hearing about Jeffrey's desires to get stepped on by 50-foot tall cat girls, or converting the entire school to white pride, while always being able to remind us that what we're laughing at is real issues that happen all the time. The bullying, the misogyny, racism, homophobia, all of this exists. America is real, along with the rest of the world dealing with all these same issues. I guess the cheesy message I took away from this game is that life is indeed awful. You can't change your circumstances, there are times you will be beaten down. But that doesn't mean you should join in. No matter how much sense she might make, don't look up to someone that treats the lives of others like disposable toys. Don't let yourself be controlled by anyone, especially Nicole.
You're a really pretty brunette Hitler with a drug problem.
See, if guys came up with that, I'd actually try dating them.
God, I love Nicole. And thanks for watching. I recently finished Class of 09 and Re-Up, and I hopped onto Twitter to see this tweet from the official account, cracking a joke about how there were no video essays about the game. And I was like, you know what? I'll take a crack at it. Great opportunity to share some love for the visual novel, along with why, contrary to the video, I think Nicole is like top 10 female anime villains. Before you go, actually, the official Twitter account does say it's an anime. Which, by the way, go check out that Kickstarter because it needs way more money. I know it says fully funded, but that's only for like the first goal. 3 minutes is cool and all, but I want the full 30. Better yet, 250,000 times 12. If we can raise $3 million US, they'll be forced to make an entire season. Trust me, that's how it works. I fact-checked from a James Summerton video. If you're still here, I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more videos. Check out my Discord and Patreon in the description below. Please join my Discord, I am so lonely. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.